Here we are, this is Petersburg, Alaska. We're waiting for our pontoon plane to be able to fly us out at high tide. You can see it's low tide right now.
You guys are gonna be staying in which cabin or something?
Devil's Elbow.
Oh, cool. Cool.
How difficult is it to
I've never been to Devil's Elbow.
negotiate around there? I mean, it's a long ways for anyone to get even near us, which is good.
Usually we have a couple camera guys, and we have the luxuries of however much food we want, however much anything, because we're there by vehicle. And Troy is an eating machine, so I don't know if he's gonna make it with the limited amount of food and cooler space we have in that airplane, but I saw him at the grocery store this morning. He was making sure that he wasn't gonna starve to death anyhow.
If you want good food, this isn't the place for you, unless you know how to catch fish.
Some of the places you come to Southeast Alaska it can be as remote or as accessible as you want to make it. We chose the more difficult route. I'll say difficult logistically. We're taking a plane, a de Havilland Beaver is going to fly us out to an island, dump us off on the rocks, and we're staying in a Forest Service cabin. Went and talked to the Forest Service this morning, and they said, you know, you're the first people who will be there this year, so could you change the fuel filter for us? Could you check and make sure the place is still standing? So I'm hoping when we get there, everything's intact.
This is all the food we have for 8 days. This is normally how much food I eat in 2 days.
Troy's gonna be hungry. My only concern about you being hungry is how ornery you get when you're hungry.
Yeah.
This is where things get real. We've been joking and goofing around. We probably ought to give ourselves 20 minutes to organize and be on the ball, because when we get out there, there's no retakes, no second chances. If we forgot something, we're dealing without it.
This is gonna be sick.
One thing that quickly becomes apparent whether you're flying over Alaska or whether you're on a boat is how vast and expansive the terrain is. One of the things you're going to see on this episode is Troy Batzler, one of my camera guys, is going to be involved in this a lot. We got a cameraman that gets motion sickness, so this is interesting.
I survived.
Because of weight restrictions, you can only fly in so much stuff and you can only fly in so many people. But this is going to be completely different than any episode that you've ever seen in On Your Own Adventure. This is as on your own as we've ever been. Reason being is there's no one here to help you. If something happens to me or Troy, we're not just driving down to the emergency room. We're not calling an ambulance. We're not anything other than taking care of whatever problem pops up and doing it in a way that shows you're prepared, you're calm, and you're ready if that happens. This is it, Kimosabe.
This is it. 6 days in the wild.
This is exactly what you look for when you think of bear hunting on the Northwest Pacific Islands. This is called the Alexander Archipelago, this big series of islands here in Southeast Alaska. Really is home of the big bears, what they should call it. H-O-B, home of bear. Nothing like a hillbilly at hoedown here. Wow. Here we go, cameraman.
Works for me.
Anybody home? Cool, there's chairs, there's matches, there's salt, cooking oil. Oh, we're in like Flynn here. If you aren't mentally prepared for the idea that, hey, I'm here by myself, I'm here away from all of the conveniences of the world, you're gonna struggle. We just got here. I can't hunt today because I just flew in, but the cabin is 100 yards over there. Big pile of dung. We survived the flight out here. We survived packing most of our stuff to the cabin, but we didn't fill up our water before we left the motel. Somewhere to hold these bags. I feel like I'm carrying a bladder bag or something by the looks of this stuff.
That actually might just slide right off of there.
Think so?
We'll see.
Beautiful. If that doesn't look like someone's urine bladder, I don't know what does. But that's what we're drinking today after it goes through this filter. First morning. I should say first night. It gets daylight here so early you feel like you woke up with the chickens. But high tide, so we're gonna go out in the boat. See if we can find a bear on the shore. If I wake up.
Please note that the cameraman is ready. He's got all of his gear on and he's ready to go. And Randy's still putting his waders on.
What a whiner. As big and as challenging as this hunt might seem, it's really doable. You get yourself a skiff rented, you rent a Forest Service cabin, and you find a way to get to that cabin, either by a seaplane or by a transporter. You go and buy your tag over the counter, and you are on your own Southeast Alaska bear hunt. It's that simple. Our first sighting of other humans. I think it's other bear hunters. They got their skiff on the back. And I suspect that they probably anchor and camp in that boat. Little do they know, they are right between us and where we saw a big bear this morning. That's gonna get a ride home this evening. We got a bear right up around this corner. We saw him from out on the channel. The wind is just swirling to try to get to that point up there. If you'll feed out, I don't want to get too close because the wind is coming this way and that way. If they smell you, the game's up. Saw a bear here, but we're gonna have to get going because the tides, we're already pushing the high tide. And we gotta go 10 miles back that way. And we've got this really narrow channel that we gotta go. I don't want to leave because I know there's a bear here. We saw him from out there, but I'm not going through there in the dark, and I'm not going through there at any time other than high tide. And I know we're gonna be coming off high tide right now.
This is a visitor's log for the cabin, and you get to read what everybody else has to say. Some people are not very intelligent in their comments about others, but interesting to read some of these hunting ones. Hunted hard 5 days, didn't even see sign of a fresh bear, let alone a bear. Very disappointed with this place for bear. Hope that's not what my comment says. In Alaska, you can use your tag on an animal that costs less, the same or less. That wolf right there, I could use my black bear tag on if I wanted to. But I'm here to film black bear. My tag's staying in my pocket. You know, the first part of this hunt is just learning where I'm at. Where can I go? Where can I go? Where are the tides going to be too bad? When can I navigate at low tide versus high tide? All of those kind of things. And I hope that I've sorted out enough of where I can hunt, where the bears might be. I've seen some bears. They all seem to be kind of in these same general locations. None of them are out on the main channels. They're all way back in these coves, like you'd expect, because there's some boat traffic going up and down these channels. But getting back in those coves when you have tide swings of 15 to 18 feet a day, and they're really gradual slopes, you might need 300 or 400 feet of anchor rope just to tie off at low tide. It's a challenge that I did not expect on this hunt. I knew the tides would be, you know, difficult in these narrows, but how it would affect your hunting is news to me.
That was too close. Oh, I am tired. Oh well. There, honey. I could have sat around the cabin all day. I wouldn't accomplish anything, so. There's a bear right there. Just right up and just up on that bench across the creek. I'm gonna ease up here a little further. Let's see how far that is. 35 yards. Got a perfect wind. Not much of a wind, but it's perfect. Can't tell how big it is. I gotta get up there further. At 200 yards, I can tell a lot better what kind of bear he is. He's black, he's fat, but I'm looking at his ears. I want his ears to be over on the side of his head, not the top of his head. And I want to make sure that he's a boar. I'll go home empty-handed before I'll shoot a sow. Now he'll think I'm a goose, right?
we saw on the map this really cool area that went a couple miles back from camp. Right now I'm about 1.5 miles from camp, and it's squishy walking in and stuff, but here we go. He's a nice bear, but he's not what you come to Alaska for. This one, once he finally looked at me, I could tell his ears were more on the top of his head instead of on the side of his head, which tells me he's either a younger bear or a sow. We'll ease back out of here. We've got a bunch more stuff we want to check out here. That's 6 inches across. That's a big bear. It's fresh too. It drizzled last night, but you can still see the little, just like fingerprint type mark on us. And there are no grizzly on this island, so we know it's a black bear. That's a big one. That one is a shoot now, ask questions later, guys. Well, we've got 2 days left. I maybe should have shot a few bears that I've seen, and I should have stalked and been more careful with some of my stalks. But it's last light, it's cold. I'm gonna head back to camp and get rested and warm. And tomorrow morning, I'm gonna shoot a bear out here. So we've spent 2 or 3 miles walking up and down these really tight rivers. I'm at a loss to where the bears are. Everyone tells me they don't come to the beaches a lot until later. If you come up here, I can't guarantee that you're gonna shoot a bear. In fact, I have not seen a bear for 2 days. I can't guarantee you'll see a bear, but you'll have a lot of fun. That is a guarantee. I'm probably going home without a bear, but I've had one hell of a good time, I know that. We've tried every tactic I can think of. I don't profess to be an expert bear hunter. I did a lot of research before I came here. I talked to the Forest Service people, talked to the biologists, Fish and Game, anyone I could to get a feel for what the tactics should be. And I did expect to see 4 to 5 bears a day. This is now 2 days in a row where we've not seen a bear. I did everything I wanted to do out of this trip other than shoot the bear. And I had a chance, I could have shot a bear, but I decided not to shoot that one. Well, no bear, but the trip of a lifetime. Everybody should do it. I'm gonna do it again.